friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. Sadly, if you're watching this video, we are in the same boat with a clogged sublimation printer. This is a sublimated white glitter cardstock, and you can see the colors are very off from what it's supposed to look like. Yep, my sublimation printer is clogged. So I went and did a test cleaning page thing, and you can notice that my pink is definitely clogged. I'm going to show you how to go from this to this without ever having to purchase anything, not have to clean anything, not have to purchase a file. So I'm going to show you how to go from this to this. You can tell that it's going to take some patience. Lots of patience. I went from 316 to 439, but you know what? I did not have to buy a new printer and I didn't have to flush anything out. I just had to have a whole lot of patience and just a couple little tips and tricks. Okay, so let's go over to the computer and I'm gonna show you how I get my sublimation printers unclogged. The very first thing you're gonna do is open up a Pages document, a Word document, a Google Docs, any type of word processor that you have on your computer. That's what you're gonna open. It needs to be a blank slate. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is come up here into shapes, and then we're gonna insert a square. Okay, we're gonna fill this entire thing up. Remember, my tank, the only one that is clogged is magenta, so I'm gonna go with magenta. So I'm gonna now go over here into format, and then I'm gonna go over here into arrange, and then I'm just going to go from text wrap and do none. I just want to get rid of that second blank page because I don't need it. Okay, going back over into style. If your black tank is clogged, then keep it black. If your tank is cyan that's clogged, keep it cyan. If it is yellow, then you're gonna need to insert a new color. So we can go down here into fill and change it over to yellow. Mine's magenta, so I am just gonna go over here and click this magenta color. That is it. So if you had two tanks that are clogged, let's say magenta and cyan, I'm just gonna make this a half sheet, copy and paste, and we're gonna go down here, drag this down, and I'm going to now make it cyan. So if you had two tanks clogged, you could do that. If you had all three tanks clogged, you just wanna do a full square of whatever tanks that you have clogged. Then what you want to do is go over to your sublimation printer and just put regular printer paper in your computer. You don't want to waste really expensive sublimation paper for this because it's gonna be a waste. Then all you're gonna do is you're gonna go into Command P, which is print. I'm gonna select my sublimation printer. I'm gonna scroll down and go into media and quality, and you want to make sure that your media type is set to plain paper because that's what we are printing. Okay, this part right here is going to take a lot of patience. I printed over 100 sheets to get it to where I am today. I know a friend of mine, she also had a clogged sublimation printer and she printed 200 sheets. You just need a little bit of time and a whole lot of patience. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go 20. I'm just gonna put 20 sheets of plain paper in my sublimation printer. When it runs out, I'm gonna put the same 20 sheets back in the printer, and you'll understand right here in a minute because I'm gonna show you what the prints look like. But just trust me, you just wanna keep printing until we get to something like this. Okay, these are what my prints were looking like, and you can see that there's some black. I just kept using the same sheets of paper front and back, and I just kept printing. You can notice that the prints are yellow, and in my print that I messed up on, where I noticed that I had a clog, these are yellow. So what you're trying to get is something that looks a little bit different than what you were getting. So all of these prints are yellow, and then at one point in time I was getting a print that looked like this, and you can see that there's like magenta lines in there, so there is a little bit of hope. Remember, a lot of patience, a little bit of time for this. Eventually what was happening is my yellow prints turned into blue prints. See that? Which is very strange. I was still printing my magenta square, but I just now all of a sudden got some blue color. So what you're looking for when you are doing a tank flush or a pad flush is you're looking for a change. So if your prints are originally coming out in one color, keep printing until we get a different color. I do not suggest doing multiple tank cleanings. I know a lot of people say just keep doing the tank cleanings and it'll eventually correct itself. I don't suggest doing that. The reason for that is it fills up your maintenance box. Once your maintenance box is filled up on your eco tank, then it's no good and you have to buy a whole nother printer. We are trying to avoid that process, so we want to keep doing the printing until you get another square. Then when you finally get another square, you want to now switch over to do the test cleaning pages. So after I started getting colors like this, my very first test cleaning page is this. And you can see that now all of a sudden I have a pink line, which is a lot better than what we have here. No lines, and then a very fine pink line. That means that there's a little bit of hope in the game. So when I did that, then I did one more, and there's another line right there. So you just keep going, and you can tell with the progression of my page numbers, I have 316 was my very first test cleaning page with 0 lines. I did 436, which has that one very faint line. 437 has the other very faint line. And here is 438. That now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little specks in it. Do you see that? Okay, and then 439, which is the very last page that I did. When I finally did that last test cleaning, do you see how now all of my tanks, I'm not too concerned about that little black right there. I'm not gonna do another one, but you can see all my tanks are back and ready for action. So in all, this took me like 2 days of full printing. I am up in my craft room for 8 hours a day, and I was printing for 8 hours. You just need a whole lot of patience and just keep on printing until it's unclogged. Then when it was unclogged, the very first thing I made was this Luigi. Excuse the unmirrored L right here. I got so excited I forgot to mirror, but this is my finished print for unclogging my sublimation printer. And you can see all the colors are back in action and look absolutely gorgeous. All right, I sure hope that I helped you relieve some frustrations and save you a bit of money so you don't have to go out and buy a whole new sublimation printer. And I will see you later.